Sit down, smoke a bowl. It's time for the Fire Safety Meeting, Movie Edition. And now, your hosts, Travis and Jesse.
I'm Travis.
And I'm Jesse. This week's Fire Safety Meeting brings us together so that a bowl can be roasted and a movie can be discussed. Today's film is 2016, The Huntsman, Winter's War.
This movie was rated PG-13 with a runtime of 1 hour and 54 minutes. Directed by Cedric Nicolas-Troyan, starring Chris Hemsworth as the Huntsman, Charlize Theron as Ravenna, Jessica Chastain as Sarah, Emily Blunt as Queen Freya, and Nick Frost as Nyan. This movie's a prequel and a sequel to 2012's Snow White and the Huntsman. This movie starts off showing us the fucked up relationship between Queen Freya, played by Emily Blunt, and her sister, Ravenna, played by Charlize Theron.
She looked good in that gold.
Oh, she did look good.
She was literally dripping in gold.
She was, but she always looks good in her movies. I mean, even Mad Max with the shaved head, she looked good.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Imperator Furiosa.
This part of the story shows us why Queen Freya turns into such a cold-hearted bitch. I mean, the Ice Queen, which sends her into a spiral of bad decisions, child abduction, brainwashing, building armies.
She was freezing everyone that disagreed with her in her courtyard.
Shit went quick. You didn't have a chance to react. You were just frozen.
And that's where we're given the origin story for the Huntsman's army. Eric and Sarah, two of many child soldiers raised under Queen Freya's rule as part of the Huntsman's army. They come of age, and these two characters are given a choice between loyalty or their own free will, which...
I like it at this point, they question their loyalty and their own free will. They had no problem abducting children, stealing them, but you're crossing the line now.
Right. That separates them, and that's pretty much where the prequel ends.
And it throws us into the sequel part.
And that's where Snow White's husband finds the Huntsman to set him on his quest for the golden magic mirror. You know, mirror, mirror on the wall.
Yes.
Joining him on his journey are two of the seven dwarves, Nyan and Griff.
2 out of 7 ain't bad.
Right?
2 out of 7 ain't bad. and from there they go on their Herculean journeys.
Herculean
Herculean
and that's
journeys?
where they go on their Herculean journey. And that's pretty much all we can tell you without giving you too much of the story away.
I didn't like this movie, so I don't want to ruin it for anyone else, but I thought it was an outstanding cast. Charlize Theron is one of my favorite actresses, so I am never disappointed by her. The banter in the movie between Nick Frost and Chris Hemsworth I thought was very amusing. With that and the incredible special effects, it was able to capture my attention throughout the whole movie. Although I did think the story was a little shaky, I thought they were trying to balance too much. I saw it as two half movies that they had and they put together to make one.
Right.
They had Frozen, a adult version of Frozen,
right.
Not like Bounce and Wow Wow adult, but more adult, and a adventure love story for Chris Hemsworth, and like, fuck it, we got 2 budgets, let's put it together and make one good budgeted movie.
Right.
But I only give this movie 2 out of 5 joints. I wasn't very satisfied by it. I didn't think it was any worse than the first one, but I don't think it was any better by any means. And how about you?
I thought it was an enjoyable movie, but it wasn't without its flaws. Kristen Stewart not being in this movie, while it was noticeable, it was very welcome.
Oh, that definitely added points on my scale.
Yeah, I was
not
so glad that
she
she was not in it. I thought Chris Hemsworth did good in the lead role. He took it over. He did what he had to do. And, it wasn't as serious. He smiled like the whole movie. Even when he was getting his ass whooped, he was smiling. Charlize Theron came in and just dwarfed Emily Blunt. She looked so good compared to Emily Blunt, who looked just like Frozen. What's her name?
Elsa.
Elsa. Jesus.
She did.
Like, I get good thing they're all in the same company. You know what I mean? Like, they all keep it in the family. So they're like, it's cool. You can use our idea. I thought Jessica Chastain as Sarah was really good. I thought she played a really good warrior.
She never misses.
But my favorite characters were Nick Frost and Rob Brydon as Nyon and Griff. And
The dwarves.
yeah,
yes.
their banter between Chris Hemsworth and the dwarves, and two other dwarves that show up later, Sheridan Smith, who plays Mrs. Bromwyn, and Alexandra Roach, who plays Dorina. When they show up, they end up in this jolly little crew together, and it seemed like a fun adventure that they went on to go find the mirror, and it never took itself too seriously, and overall I thought it was a good movie. I give it a 2.5 joints out of 5.
The action was good in it. I mean, it was definitely entertaining. I thought it was very predictable, though.
It was predictable to the end, absolutely.
Yeah.
Nothing ever took you by surprise.
Yeah.
You knew it.
All right, we're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the actor's previous bodies of work. So we'll see you in a second. We're going to load another.
Hello, little girl. Would you like some ice cream?
What flavors do you have?
I have chocolate. I have vanilla. I have strawberry. And I have coffee. So, what can I get for you, little girl?
Well, you can start by not calling me little girl. I'm 19.
If you're 19, then I recommend my Cosby Coffee ice cream. It's better than a 2-drink minimum.
Whatever, I'll take 2 scoops.
Here you go, little girl. And remember, Mr. Freeze's ice cream truck is a safe zone from predators.
What?
Ah, they're in the trees.
Oh my god, stop following me, weirdo!
That's right. Mr. Freeze's ice cream trucks are in your neighborhoods, going up the street, then down the street, then up the street, and then back down the street, terminating my competition with cold ice cream.
Mr. Freeze's ice cream trucks can be located in a residential neighborhood near you. Now serving Cosby Coffee ice cream.
Welcome back from our commercial break. Make sure you keep an eye out in your neighborhoods for a Mr. Freeze's ice cream truck. All right, this starts our second part of our show, which we talk about the directors and actors' previous bodies of work. Unfortunately, Cedric Nicolas-Troyan only did one other movie prior to this, and it was Snow White and the Huntsman, so we're going to skip over him and go directly to Chris Hemsworth. Jesse, what are your 3 movies for Chris Hemsworth?
Well, I have more than 3 movies, but that's only because I chose anything with Thor in it. Watch it in chronological order. I know you guys already own most of those movies. Watch it. It's worth it.
You're going for a character for the steal, huh? All right.
We also have 2013's Rush, where he plays James Hunt. Also stars Daniel Bruhl as Niki Lauda. It's a racing film where Niki Lauda is a champion. The young Englishman James Hunt shows up as a rookie and wins a couple over him. And it tells their rivalry throughout their whole career together. And Niki Lauda gets burned over 90% of his body in a race. He still continues to race and win. I suggest you watch this movie. It's autobiographical. Daniel Bruhl, you've seen him in Inglourious Bastards. He played the German soldier that was infatuated with the theater owner.
Yes.
Also starring Olivia Wilde.
Olivia Wilde.
I remember from In Time.
Yes, In Time with Justin Timberlake. They also did Alpha Dog together.
Alpha Dog, another Justin Timberlake movie. Holy smokes.
That was a good movie. Both of those were
I
really
like
good
that one.
movies. Different levels, though. In Time was a great action-adventure movie. One of Justin Timberlake's better ones. And then Alpha Dog, a true story. It's something that needs to be watched. It's hard to explain. A kidnapped kid. It's sad. It gets you. It's a tear wrencher. I mean, I put it on once in a while just to get girls to cry.
Anton Yelchin was also in that. He went on to play
Yes.
Scotty in the Star Trek series. which Chris Hemsworth is also in that.
Yep, connects them back together.
Yeah, he plays Captain Kirk's father. She was in Tron.
Yes.
Yeah, she played Cora in Tron.
With Jeff Daniels.
That's right. And you said
I first noticed her in House, the TV show. She came in at the later couple of seasons, but she was really a good supporting actor. Very strong in the character. But she just pops up everywhere.
Cowboys and Aliens.
Yes, we talked about that last week on our The Jungle Book 2016 review episode. Who else you have for Chris Hemsworth?
All right, and my last pick is the one I definitely want you guys to go watch. Cabin in the Woods. It is a horror flick that is also a parody. It is a serious horror flick that shows you the inner workings of how a horror movie works if someone was behind the scenes pulling the strings. It's got every single horror movie trope that you want, but it also scares you while showing you what's happening. I definitely recommend it. Those are my 3 must-see movies from Chris Hemsworth.
We're going to move on to Charlize Theron. My 3 movies start off with Prometheus, 2012.
That was starring Noomi Rapace.
Yes, and Idris Elba, which we also talked about
Last week. That's right. And
Also connect. This movie was a prequel to Aliens, which as prequels go, I thought it was done really well.
I thought it was all right.
Just all right?
It was just all right.
I know they could have really ruined it, but I'm looking forward to the second one.
But when
Don't
you watch an
believe-
alien movie, you want to see aliens.
Yes, that is true. But this is building up to it. The next one should be.
We don't
full
need
of
a
aliens.
build up to it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's like.
it is kind of an unnecessary.
So is it like Prometheus
prequel.
Part 2?
You're really killing my list here. So since he's killing my list, we're gonna move on to the next one. Hancock, 2008, with Will Smith and Jason Bateman. Will Smith is a superhero that is, well, an alcoholic and doesn't really care too much until Jason Bateman takes him on as a client pretty much to straighten out his life.
A drunken amnesiac superhero. And I liked the movie. I thought it was fun.
Charlize Theron plays Jason Bateman's wife, and a little bit of a twist in the movie. If you haven't seen it, it is a good one. I keep hearing that they might do a second one, which I hope for.
They're never going to do a second one.
No.
There's too many
not.
real superheroes
Yeah.
that you can...
Well, Will Smith has already moved on to Suicide Squad.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
He's
excited
got
for
that
that
to
one.
look forward to. I mean,
I like Jason Bateman in this movie. He played a really... I mean, it just seems like he plays this character in every movie he's in.
yeah.
Except for this one is like, they turned up the nice meter.
Yes. He's another one of those actors that play themselves pretty much. We enjoy seeing them do it.
Absolutely.
It's working for him. He's still taking a paycheck home. So that'll bring us to our third movie. The one movie that I recommend out of all other and can be found on Hulu. It's 2003 Monster. Based on the life of
Eileen Wuornos.
a Daytona Beach prostitute who becomes a serial killer. True story. She got an Oscar for this. It also starred Christina Ricci.
Wednesday Addams herself.
Wednesday Addams, yes. Casper's love interest.
That's right.
Charlize Theron did such a great performance in this. She really earned that Oscar. I'm going to see if I can say Oscar a couple more times before we finish this. But make sure you check it out. She will scare the shit out of you.
Right. It is a very good drama flick.
It is well done. This movie is directed by Patty Jenkins, and once again can be found on Hulu. So next we're going to move on to
Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt.
I loved her in Looper with Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Don't get me started on Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
What would happen if Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Christian Slater did a movie together?
It would be completely horrible.
No, why would it? Joseph Gordon-Levitt adds something to every movie he's in.
I know, but they're both two different type of actors. They're both stars, pretty much. And you put 2 stars in a movie. It's very hard to do. I mean, it's been done, especially lately with all the superhero movies.
Who's the other star? I don't know what you're talking. Who's the other star?
Shit.
I don't know who you're talking about. Although I can't lie, you watch Mr. Robot?
I do. I like that
I
one.
loved that show. I'm not caught up on it for the second season, but I really enjoyed that first season. She was in Edge of Tomorrow. I like that
With
movie
Tom
a
Cruise?
lot.
I didn't like it. I thought it was a action Groundhog's Day. Emily Blunt is in talks to be doing Mary Poppins 2, playing Mary Poppins.
I see that I can get down with. That's cool. But
I think that's one of those movies that they should have just left alone. Doesn't need a sequel. I mean, after all these years, why do that one? Why not just reboot it? She would be great as a reboot, or just a completely different movie.
I don't know. They almost have to go back to it. There's not a lot of original ideas out there. When you can just pull an idea off a shelf, you get some funding, and poof, it makes you money. One way or another, it makes you money.
That's why I don't see why they just don't reboot it instead of doing a part 2.
Because you know how much less work it is when you just take that and make it?
Well, they can reboot it. I mean, if you did something similar, people are going to be just, oh, that was just like Mary Poppins. But if you just reboot it and say, here's Mary Poppins, rebooted,
maybe
2016.
they'll do it again. That's what they're going to do.
I from what I've been reading, that they're doing part 2. It's supposed to be
a sequel?
30 years later. She comes to nanny
and
the girls.
So
kids.
now she's even younger, 30 years later?
Yeah. That's Mary Poppins magic, though. I mean,
to be younger?
It's a lot of spoonfuls of sugar, you know?
All right, next we're going to talk about Nick Frost. He's one of my favorite supporting actors. He's always in Simon Pegg's movies. Shaun of the Dead, The World's End. He was in the movie Attack the Block. You ever seen Attack the Block?
I did see Attack of the Block.
That is a good alien flick, an alien invasion movie that takes place in London, where the kid who played Finn in Star Wars, Boyega, what's his first name? John Boyega plays a leader of a gang of young thugs on the streets, go around robbing people, and they witness an alien craft crash near their apartments, and they go to check it out, and they end up killing one of the aliens and taking its carcass, which causes a bigger invasion of aliens to come and collect that alien. And it is a very action-packed movie. I suggest watching that for sure.
One of my favorites of his is 2011's Paul. He also wrote that movie.
He wrote it?
Yes. It was starring him and Simon Pegg, and it also had Seth Rogen doing the voice of an alien. It was like an E.T. Gotta Get Him Home movie, but with a perverted pot-smoking alien.
Yeah, but I mean, it was
with Jason Bateman. Also in
Oh,
that movie.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Sigourney Weaver, since
That's
we
right.
mentioned aliens earlier. But that is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen, was Paul.
all that nerd culture in it was definitely right up my alley. Hot Fuzz 2007. He plays PC Danny Butterman, also Simon Pegg. I mean, really, it's not really a surprise. Say it like that. It's not really. Everyone knows they're always in the same movie.
Yeah, they've done a few. Shaun of the Dead.
I said that one.
You did.
I love Shaun of the
2004.
Dead.
That was one of the funniest zombie movies there is. Well, I guess that brings us to the end of the show. This week coming out along with The Huntsman, Winter War, is Tom Hanks, a hologram of the king, and Kevin Spacey and Michael Shannon in Elvis versus Nixon. I would take a chance on one of those other two movies. I would wait to watch this movie when it comes out on Redbox. Can't end a show without the Stoner Fire Safety Tip of the Week. Don't throw bongs.
You definitely never throw a bong. You don't throw a bong, kid. Thank you for listening, guys. You can find us on our YouTube page, The Fire Safety Meeting. You can follow us on Twitter. We are Stick and Swoop at Fire Safety Meet. You can also find us on our website, firesafetymeeting.wix.com/podcast.
Meeting adjourned.